You can see on camera it's easy to see. I'm really forward. And when I sit back up, if you just do this, you'll get this feeling of, well, momentum is what it is. But like imagine your body is sort of like a big bag of water. And when you slosh the water back and forth in a bag, right, it'll get light on one side and get heavy on the other side. And that's what's going on, this wave-like motion, right? That's why there's so many metaphors about water in martial arts. Okay? So when we're doing it, we're on this side, right? Are we on that side? Sure we are. So when I'm turning my body, this wave-like motion comes through, so my weight moves from side to side. And the wind, or the whipping action, is always at the end of what's going on. Okay? So we sit in our horse stance, just so you can see me, right? And when I sit, I'm trying to not move this arm very much. So this isn't sitting and lifting my arm. What it's more like is I grab onto, say, say a coffee cup. So I grab onto my coffee cup, and I don't lift it up to you as I sit. Instead, I put it on the table, and I sit down to it. Okay? So I chop downwards, and as I start to come up, when it gets to my hip, we're going to call that table height, okay? Because I'm going to do a low horse stance. And when I hit my table height, that's when I drop. Okay? So this is going to determine how terrible the horse stance is that you have to hold. So let's go back through that. Let's just go from there. So we sit, put the coffee cup on the table, sit down. Hand comes in front, rubbing daimai, belt meridian, breathe in. Palms rotate at the same time. And then 1, rotate at the same time. 2, rotate at the same time. 3, in this case, in this movement, okay, you want to have parallel elbows. Okay, so if you've done martial arts before, everybody tells you to keep your elbows down. So this feels really weird. But we are paralleling the elbows, and we're moving our rib cage, right? And this all has to kind of work like a big machine. So when I rotate my wrists, what I'm reminding myself of, see, I don't know if you're seeing anything. Maybe I'm like, if I exaggerate, watch my shoulders. You might see this, okay? When I'm pressing forward and I rotate these, I'm actually trying to pull my shoulder blades down. So I rotate, and it's like, oh yeah, remember you have shoulders, Neil. Push. Right, I have shoulders. And I try to pull my shoulders down again. Push. So pull your shoulders down. And this is actually kind of an interesting point. Because I'm doing it like class, which means I get off topic. It's not really off topic. But it's an interesting point, okay? Our bodies, we think that because we inhabit them, that we kind of get how they work. But if that was the truth, then we wouldn't need arts like this, right? We wouldn't need yoga and qigong and whatever. Because people over generations have figured out more efficient ways to master the body, I guess we could call it. It's more like investigate it and figure it out. But one of the very interesting things about our bodies, and the reason in martial arts, okay, a couple of reasons that they say elbows are down. First of all, obviously, if you have any guards and stuff, but it has to do with the way our shoulders work, okay? Doing this, or raising your hands, what it tends to do is it makes you raise your shoulders. So if I put my arm right on my shoulder, okay? Making sure the camera can see. And I'm gonna do it really wrong. If I lift up to like touch the roof, you'll see right here, my shoulder is lifting. See how much higher this shoulder has become than this one? And that's not just like tipping over, right? I can tip a lot farther. But what's happened is I've lifted my scapula, my shoulder blade, up. Now, we can do this. And what's really cool is there's almost no animals that can do this. Nobody. Because like dogs can't scratch their own back, right? That's why it's awesome to get a back scratch for a dog. Well, or us, because this still isn't fun. But what it is about is that our shoulder joint works differently than almost any other mammal because there's legs, right? We're not there anymore. So, because this is a shoulder joint, we were able to swing from things. We can hang from things, and we can swing back and forth because we have a flexibility and strength here that other animals do not. However, it also means flexibility has weakness to it, right? It's implied. So if your shoulder is pulled up, and that you feel that scapula come up, I don't know if you can see it from behind, but if you feel that scapula, see it's rising, hopefully you can see it. When I'm here, it means that the ball at the end of my shoulder here, at the end of my arm, is out of this socket. It's being held on by connective tissue. That means it's incredibly weak at that moment, okay? And that means that we need to learn to keep our shoulders down. It's not really our elbows, it's our shoulders. So the exercise we're doing, see, I got back to it, change palms 3 times, is an exercise in putting our elbows where they don't belong, because it lifts our shoulders, for the express purpose of training our shoulders so they go where they belong. And each time I turn a palm over, I will have an instinctual want to pick the shoulder up. It's just what we do. So I see that first palm turn, I can feel my right shoulder actually wanting to do it. Come on, shoulders stay down. Left shoulder wants to come up, no, shoulders stay down. That's what change palms 3 times is about. Okay, it's about a lot of things, but as far as physiologically, that's its main purpose right now. Pull the scapula down, make sure your breathing is correct and all that other stuff. But it's all about shoulder training. And if you want to get the low-hand benefits of health, this is the kind of stuff that matters. It really, really does, because nothing happens instantly, okay? And nothing happens unless it's kind of an uncomfortable thing to practice. Discomfort creates change. All right. Change